Well, welcome back to Show Us Your Basement. Hey, Eric, real quick. Last time we did an episode, I felt real bad because I was trying to get into football with you, trying to talk about the Eagles, and I just was like 5 years behind, 10 years behind with the whole. I was not up to date.
And Bradford, Sammy Sleeves.
Yeah. But I think this time I'm ready to engage with you in football talk. So so like what do you think about do you think the 1964 Eagles were ahead of their time when they attempted to play with the square football? How was that?
I couldn't tell you.
Why?
That's too old.
What are you talking about? Look.
Wait, did you say square football?
I'm reading about Eagles history here.
Okay.
Look, after the Eagles invented Wi-Fi during the halftime of a 1995 preseason, do you think they should have patented it? Or
a Wi-Fi at a halftime game in '95?
Did they not invent Wi-Fi? I don't understand.
Well, let's see. They were still playing at the Vet. They were Kelly Green back then.
Oh man.
Okay. I remember the '95 season. If that helps you.
Well, you don't remember if they invented Wi-Fi. That's fine, Eric. That's okay. I think we may have gotten our history mixed up. Let's just go ahead with the intro here, the theme song.
Planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No. Where do you get off? Just a couple of people who totally got off, bro.
Hey, show us your basement.
What? No.
And that was Mark Wahlberg there at the end of our theme song.
Hey, show us your basement.
And that was, who was that? Who said that line? I think that was...
Hey, it was Edgar.
Must have been Jackie Chan or someone. I don't know. Perfect English.
Uncle.
Welcome to Show Us Your Basement, the podcast where we talk about movies. We rank them in our own personal tier lists. They go as follows. We have greatness, goodness, midness, and of course there's basement. You can figure it out for yourself. We got a bunch of episodes already up on our YouTube channel at Show Us Your Basement. So go ahead and check those out. We have a lot of good ones. We talked about Alien. We've talked about Saw X, which is one of my favorite films of all time. Josh might disagree, but
I said it was goodness. I said it was shows your goodness, man.
I'm saying it's one of the greatest movies of all time. Don't you agree?
Oh God,
that's a reach.
All right. Well, okay, I'm being attacked here. But anyways, and follow us on our social medias. Follow us on our socials at Show Us Your Basement. Thank you guys for your support.
Thank you guys.
We're going to continue doing this. On tonight's episode of Show Us Your Basement, we're going to be discussing, I think, a movie that really, to be honest, sets the mood for the fall, because this movie takes place around like Halloween, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It is, of course, The Batman. 2022's The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson and Colin Farrell, Zoe Kravitz.
Wait. I thought we were talking about Batman and Robin. I literally just got done watching it.
Really?
Guys, George Clooney's.
Josh, come on.
So
man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Why do you remember the whole cast?
I forget that Arnold Schwarzenegger's even in that movie.
Yeah.
Really?
Some of the best one-liners of all time.
Right.
What killed the dinosaurs?
We're gonna take
Ice Age.
Chill.
We're gonna take an intermission while Josh watches the movie. So
give me 3 hours, guys.
yeah,
I'll be
we'll
right
be back. We'll be right back.
What about that? 3 hours.
Yep.
It's definitely a movie you gotta sit down and clear out the whole block of your time. But The Batman 2022. This is one that I've been kind of looking forward to. We reviewed it on our previous podcast before Josh and Eric came along on Two Brothers. So it's been a while since we've discussed it. You guys, we know the structure. We're going to be giving the good, the bad and the ugly when it comes to this film. And we'll rank it at the end. I'm kind of interested in hearing your guys' thought, Eric and Josh. Let's just dive in. Should we on what part of the spectrum should we talk about this movie? Should we
Let's start about the good.
let's get into the good?
El bueno.
Into the good.
All right. Well, Josh, kick us off, dude. What do you think? What was good about the Batman 2022? Keep saying
What was
2022.
good? Matt Reeves was probably one of the best things about this movie. He's obviously coming off the cusp of doing, Planet of the Apes, War of the Planet of the Apes, which, phenomenal trilogy. Obviously, he didn't do the first one, but the last two elevated, right?
Yeah.
I would argue that they were near perfect movies, and what made those movies great was the storytelling, and he was obviously able to take that talent and bring it into this movie and give us such an amazing story in the Batman, right?
Yeah.
So I think the characters are amazing, right? I think everyone was nervous about Robert Pattinson being Batman. I know I was one of those guys as well, but he played the role very well. Not just as Batman, but a new take in Bruce Wayne. Is it fair to say that as well? It seemed like he was
it was definitely
struggling to balance his identity.
This
It
is
was a new take of Bruce Wayne.
This is like an emo Bruce Wayne,
Yeah, and I think that's fair because how many years has he been Batman? 2 years.
2 years.
I think.
Yeah, it's year two.
Yeah,
two is
so
Batman.
so he's trying to figure out the balance of the two. I think the dynamic of him and Commissioner Gordon, there's a lot of fans out there. I'm a fan of the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
I think that was a great duo in Commissioner Gordon and Batman, and I think they elevated it in the Batman as well. I think the score is amazing as well.
My God,
So
man.
beautiful, so jarring in a good way.
Yeah.
Going back to the characters, every character stands out in this film. Not just Bruce Wayne, Batman, but Commissioner Gordon, Selena Kyle, and especially the Riddler.
Yeah.
So that's just my 2 cents. Obviously, I have more, but I'm curious to hear what Eric has to say about what's good about this movie.
I think I'll open this up for everyone. We'll start with Eric, but Josh, you were talking about how you were apprehensive about Robert Pattinson's take as Batman. Eric, what was your take on Robert Pattinson as Batman and Bruce Wayne? Were you like sort of skeptical at first? Did you know about the casting? Like, what did you know about it going in before watching the movie about him?
I remember when it came out, I don't think I was that skeptical about Robert Pattinson. I really liked how he played Batman. I think I'm not quite there yet with his Bruce Wayne.
That's fair.
Very different Bruce Wayne than when you compare it to Christian Bale, and it doesn't necessarily. It's fine. They're different, but I think that this movie I felt like it focused maybe more heavily on the Batman side instead of Bruce Wayne, where I kind of felt like Christian Bale really had to juggle both plates very carefully. Where I think Robert Pattinson, you really felt his character as the Batman in this one, and I actually thought he rivals Christian Bale in that part of it.
I agree,
and that's what I think. And so I thought his Batman performance was really good. I actually loved him as Batman.
This is
the emo Bruce Wayne. Not bad, just not. I'm not there yet.
Lukewarm on it a little bit.
Lukewarm, but it was, there was definitely a big part of the story that involved Bruce Wayne. But this movie made it very clear quickly that this is about the Batman and what we're going to see from Batman. A guy walking out of the dark. You can hear the footsteps he's taking, and there's like this incredible, intimidating feel about who he is and the vengeance. And just he plays. It feels like a much more authoritative Batman, a much more intimidating Batman, and that's what I love. Like, you want him to invoke fear into the criminals that are running the streets and kind of just doing whatever they can to kind of terrorize the public. And the way his presence is so strong.
Yeah.
And I love the bat suit. It kind of feels like the Arkham games a little bit. That's what it reminds me of. That's kind of how his Batman role feels in the movie. Like you're playing the games, kind of like just the way he's grappling, the fighting, like the fight scenes are incredible.
They're much better choreographed than the Dark Knights, for sure. Like
much better. I really like Robert Pattinson playing the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I think his Bruce Wayne role is good. He's like a younger feeling Batman, or Bruce Wayne, excuse me. And I'm lukewarm. I'm not like jumping ship here. I'm just a little lukewarm.
Yeah.
Is this your favorite bat suit?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I do like this one. It just feels more. It just has a presence to it. Like he just feels like Batman coming out of there, and like you talked about the score and like the way they have like that low like kind of piano when he's in the scenes when he's kind of like showing up, walking out of the alleys or walking into a room. You just feel like, oh, this is fucking Batman.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like maybe the Dark Knight didn't have as much. Like it didn't feel like. I mean, they did a great job building him becoming Batman. They did a great job with that, but
it's really interesting that. Yeah, I apologize to cut you off.
Good.
I really appreciate you saying when he like walks into a room when they introduce him, he definitely has a lot of weight, and you can feel it. Like for example, we all know the street scene in the rain when he is first introduced.
Yes.
It's so like you feel it. You feel it in his presence when he walks, when he's taking those steps. I think one of my favorite scenes is actually when he walks into the crime scene.
Yeah.
If out of nowhere.
If you will allow
and they're like clear the room.
That was something that Edgar was talking about off the podcast about it. Like that was a scene that you really loved, right? Was him going into the crime scene with Gordon. Why was that scene that you really like enjoyed?
Well, let me answer your question about Robert Pattinson. Yeah, I had the same feeling as everyone.
You had a bit of doubt,
but didn't we all have that? And the same with Heath Ledger.
Absolutely.
Heath Ledger, yeah.
But look how he gave us a great performance.
Ben Affleck too. Some people were kind of like,
see.
Can Ben Affleck really pull off?
After like, okay, but we said the same thing with Ben Affleck. We said the same thing with Heath Ledger. So I was like, okay, I think we're good. We're good on that.
Yeah.
So that's my take. I think we're going to say the same thing here about the Batman. We're going to bounce off each other here.
Yeah.
But like I told you, within the 30 minutes of this film, it established everything. Established Gotham. Which state it's in, it's full of criminals and corrupt and all this.
Yeah,
we're year two of Batman, so he's kind of like
the journal entry too, which is a new take. Like he's narrating it like it's a comic book, which I really appreciate.
And that crime scene, I told you why, because like he seems robotic in that scene, right? He's just like moving his head around, like looking at the crime scene. Yeah. And then he goes into the Batcave, and you see why he was doing it. He was taking it, He was analyzing it. He was taking it in, so he can review in his Batcave.
When I first saw that, when he goes back to the Batcave, takes off the lenses on his eyes, total Scott Snyder moment for me. I felt like that's something that Scott Snyder would have done. Or did rather, like, and they pulled that from like the games. It felt like to Eric's point, like the action and like the setup of it felt like a total intro to like an Arkham game, which I really, really appreciate. That's one thing I love about this movie is the Gotham City. This version feels like the definitive version of Gotham City. As much as I enjoy The Dark Knight, that Gotham
You
City.
never got that.
Yeah, it felt like fucking Chicago. Like Batman was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's what it was.
So I mean, like here, interestingly enough, I feel like with Christopher Nolan, I feel like, and all the other directors, they built the Gotham City first, and then they decided how the Batman was going to be shaped around the city. Whereas this one, it's like they built the Batman. Matt Reeves created that character first, and then what Gotham City would he live in? Mm-hmm. What's the Gotham City that we can put Batman in? That's the difference between the other films versus this one. Mm-hmm. And I think you can see that executed beautifully.
I appreciate that, Alberto, because in Batman Begins, they give you a small taste of what Gotham really is, right? Mm-hmm. So for example, like before Bruce Wayne runs away and leaves Gotham to travel the world, you know, he's in that bar and he confronts what's his face? I just had a brain fart.
Falcone, right?
Falcone, right? Yeah, Falcone. And then they go outside and you see the homeless guy, and you know it's a really dingy, beat up, ornate place, but they give you like a small aspect of it, and I feel like what Matt Reeves did in the Batman was they were able to actually take that small scene and just
expand
make it, expand from it and make it the actual movie. So,
going back to the score. I really, really love the score. It's one of those scores that is so memorable because you can tell the Batman theme. Once you hear that song, that theme song, you know Batman's going to enter the scene. Mm-hmm. Selena Kyle's, you know, that's like it. Everything is like very distinctly like it's a character.
Yeah, each one has their own like theme.
I fucking love that.
Yeah,
man. The cinematography is also top notch. I would rival it, if not say it's better than The Dark Knight. And The Dark Knight.
I actually agree.
I don't disagree. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Wrong. Everyone's score is actually played by the same instrument, but it has like a different like style of. It's just played differently.
It's tuned. It's attuned to each character, each aspect. Mm-hmm. So, I really appreciated that. Edgar, you said that. Well, I asked you like this. I know I'm going into like a big question here. Is this better than The Dark Knight? I feel like we have to get that question out the way.
Right.
Let's get into it. Like, if we're gonna ask this we might as well ask this question.
And I was telling you, like, when did it came out? 2008. And you said it's like 14 years now.
I don't know, somewhere around there, I guess.
Right. What holds it up now? It's just it's the performance of the Joker.
Yeah.
Nothing else. If you think it that way, this one, like we just said that it's the best Batman we got in a while.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, man. That's how I'm still thinking about it. But besides,
it's a tough question, dude. It is a tough question.
Like I said, besides the Joker, which was a great performance, we don't have the like.
You forget Two-Face though.
For like what, 20 minutes?
Well, Harvey Dent also.
Yeah.
Harvey Dent, I think. I don't know. I don't want to talk about The Dark Knight too much because we're talking about the Batman. But in terms of like, you were saying that it's like all a Joker, like it's mostly remembered by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly for sure. But I don't know. That movie is still like.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't hold up or anything, but like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What does people remember the Dark Knight for? Yeah. You know.
Eric?
Sorry.
I actually agree with Edgar here.
Really?
I don't want to get too crazy about the Dark Knight, but I agree with him that we're looking back at Heath Ledger, and that's what's tough because you can't deny what he did for that role. But I'm kind of with Edgar. Like yeah.
Josh, what do you think? Like, I saw you shaking your head a little bit, or not shaking your head, but you're kind of like, I don't know about the whole Joker thing. What do you think? I don't want you to answer the question of which one's better. But if we're comparing these two, because I know there's going to be the inevitable comparisons between the Dark Knight and the Batman, like, yeah, like
I'm not going to answer this question. I'm not going to comment to it as of right now. Okay. We can go that route when we talk mid and basement.
All right.
Actually.
All right. Well, I mean, if we're sticking to good, Eric, is there anything else that stands out to you as something that you really like enjoy about this movie?
You know what I really enjoyed? What they did in this movie is they took what I would consider two very well-known villains that I thought were kind of weak. When you look before this movie was made, like when you think of the Riddler, what do you think of?
Jim Carrey.
You think of Jim Carrey.
Honestly, I'd be honest.
Right?
Jim Carrey should have gotten an Oscar for that role.
Hold on.
Get out of here.
A Razzie,
but
more like.
It's like I don't want to take away from Jim Carrey and his charisma or whatever he had in that movie. Just like, yeah, it was funny, but this is a weak character in the Batman universe. Like it's he's there. Everybody knows who he is because of the suit. And then the Penguin. The Penguin's been kind of weak, you know, and they turned what I thought into two weaker, like well-known but weaker villains into villains that actually have like balls, like a sack.
I was going to go ahead.
No, let me jump off because I was just talking to you about that. That just what Eric just said. He brought two C-list villains. And made them,
C-list. That's a great. There you go.
And they made them not awesome, but like important in the Batman universe.
Yeah.
Look what happened. We had a spin-off, The Penguin, the show.
That's how good he was.
And it was good. That show was good. Now we're getting Clayface on top of that. They're taking all these, like I said, C-list villains, and they're making them more, I guess, realistic, more grounded, more relevant. Yeah.
Well, they're intimidating.
Yeah, now they're
intimidating.
Go ahead.
And I think that to your point, like I love how you said C-list. Oh God, Josh, Jesus Christ.
That's the only story of the Riddler that's good though. Josh.
I want to like hammer in on this though because I think when I remember like there was some reaction about being upset about the Riddler because he didn't look like the Riddler, but I'm just on the perspective of, dude, this guy was a nobody, a C-list. Like we turned him into something that was actually like very sophisticated riddles. He was like basically like a terrorist.
Yeah.
That was very that invoked a lot of fear and a lot of confusion and trying to figure out what is this guy all about, when really I think he kind of reminded me a little bit of like a Robin Hood kind of, but he was robbing the secrets of the rich and trying to show the poor, like, this is why you're poor. This is why you're suffering.
Showing them the truth,
Showing them the truth. So he was like a villain, but he was also kind of a man of the people in a weird way. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, he had like a
can
following
I ask you guys
in the
a
movie.
question?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you guys. If the Riddler is a C-listed character and he's not that great, why have fans been asking for a Riddler on screen for the last 20 years?
I think the 1% of the diehards are asking for the Riddler. I've never thought like, hey, let's put the Riddler in a movie. Like, what is he gonna do? Like, the Jim Carrey Riddler was just like the Joker in a green suit.
How many Batman comic books have you read?
It's not about what I've enough to know that he's kind of weak.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't ever get excited when I see the Riddler.
I have to agree, Josh, because it's like every iteration of the Riddler has always been like him as being like the background character. I think the only real like Hush, I know he orchestrated all that stuff, right? But in the games, he's a side quest. He's always a side quest in the video games.
We're not here to talk about video games.
We're not here to talk about comic books either, Josh. But you know,
I'm just saying. You know, like if you're gonna shit on the Riddler, like who's an A-lister?
I'm just giving you perspective. I'm not saying I'm shitting on
actually,
it.
You know,
hold on.
The Joker is an A-lister.
Alberto, I gotta say something about the Riddler, real quick.
Yeah,
you did make a good point about Loki in the Avengers being kind of like, okay, we got to introduce like a soft villain, and I thought Loki was weak anyway, but this was like a much better version of introducing a softer villain, but still giving him a very, very dominant role to where he felt like a very good warm-up, like a real good warm-up for what I hope is more greatness to come. And I like that they're using these different cast of villains. Like it doesn't always have to be the Joker.
I have to agree.
Doing these like crazy things in the city.
Yeah, I never looked at it that way. Damn.
And then the
Batman has some of the best rogue galleries and villains.
Oh, he does.
Compared to any superhero that's out there, probably next to Spider-Man.
Right? No, totally agree, Josh.
Bane, Joker,
Two-Face,
the Riddler,
Two-Face. Yep.
Kite Man.
Kite Man is Kite Man.
One of my favorites.
Hush, Clayface.
No. Don't get sidetracked. We're talking about the Batman 2022.
Yeah, let's.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
True.
This is an important movie. This is an important movie to build on this universe.
Yeah.
And
I just unfortunately I don't agree with your Riddler comment. I think he was great in this movie, right? And unfortunately, he's not a C-listed villain. He's not. It's just unfortunately
I have to
the
disagree.
Joker.
I have to disagree.
The Joker has just been put on this pedestal since
Jack
Nicholson.
He's not a C-listed character in the world. When you're talking about people that know the material.
Yeah.
This is a movie that has to have a very large audience that goes beyond the pages of the comic books.
He was just never given justice, and he was never given the time until now.
He's been given justice now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Until now. That's what I'm saying. That's my argument.
But no one's been able to do that. No one's tried, and now they've done it. Yeah. And I think they definitely took a different approach. Like he's not like I said, a Joker in a green suit. That's all.
Yeah, they finally gave him justice. Just like eventually they'll give Bane justice, or another character like down the road, right? That's all. Maybe. He's just finally because he has been overshadowed by the Joker, and I feel like the Joker is just the easy way out.
It is. They're just people.
If you want to make a great, Batman movie, throw in the Joker. It's low-hanging fruit.
What if we don't?
Right?
Yeah. And look, this is what the result of it.
Yeah.
With the Riddler, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's start to slide into midness, I think, because I think we've talked a lot about what we've enjoyed, but no movie's perfect, right? We gotta critique this movie. Josh, what are some elements of this movie that are not as great?
I'm gonna not so much talk about the movie, but I want to ask what could have been.
Okay.
Before the Batman came out, and I hope this makes sense. Right? Is Batman v Superman came out, right? After Batman v Superman came out, what were we supposed to get?
Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Origins.
Directed by who? By who?
Casey Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Casey Affleck.
Love him or hate him, Ben Affleck is actually a great director, in my opinion. I think he's a great writer as well. Unfortunately, with the pressures of the failure of the Justice League movie and personal things going on, personal demons, he had to walk away from it. But Eric, you appreciate this Bat suit. I loved Ben Affleck's version of the Batman and how he aesthetically looked. Pulled from a comic.
What the fuck was that?
That's his answer to that question, Jeff.
Pulled from a comic book, right? But if you actually read the notes and what Ben Affleck was going to do, to what Edgar said, it was going to be an Arkham Origin type movie.
Yeah.
It was going to be compared to Michael Douglas's The Game, right? It was supposed to have an intense scene between Batman and Deathstroke. And unfortunately, we didn't get that because of this movie.
How does that relate to mid? I'm trying to follow your train of thought here.
You're saying the Batsuit's mid.
I'm not saying the Batsuit's mid, but what I'm getting at is don't you guys ever wonder what that movie could have been like?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm wondering what's mid.
I'm also kind of wondering what's mid.
I'm saying that's just the mid part of it as well. I just have to bring that up because that plays a big factor of
I
this.
think that's the bummer of anything. If anything, it's like the bummer of the Batman is the bummer of the fact that we didn't get Ben Affleck because are you implying that?
Wait, you're saying the mid is that we didn't get a sequel to or a standalone?
We didn't get that potential of what is, and I'm trying to change it up a little bit, right?
Okay, no, it's fine. I'm just
as well.
I'm totally fine with that. I just want to make sure I'm
whether it's the
understanding.
basement or the mid or not. Like, unfortunately, this movie, right, that is near perfect, took away what could have been. That's just my thought.
I just feel like
I know it's hard for you guys to read. I know you guys don't understand me.
I understand.
90% of the time.
I understand, Josh, but it just you started off by saying
Where's
the
Ben
best.
Affleck
No,
movie?
you started by saying the best thing to happen to the movie is Matt Reeves, but now you're saying it's not the best thing to happen because Ben Affleck would have been a better
don't get me
movie.
wrong. I don't want to disregard. I don't want to, and this is hard for me too. I didn't know where to put this, but I felt like I had to talk about this, right? Because there was like this hype, right, and this buildup of what Ben Affleck was going to give us, right?
Yeah.
And then he walked away as director. Matt Reeves, he handed it off to Matt Reeves.
I don't know if that's mid though.
He was still going to star in it.
That's like
it just sucks.
Still
sucks.
That's like saying if we were doing Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's, and being like, what's mid is that we didn't get Spider-Man 4. We didn't get Mysterio. It's like, but that's not a good talking point.
Truth.
It is truth, but I don't know if that's mid.
You don't like it.
I don't know.
But yeah, you can say that as well. We got Amazing Spider-Man when we should have gotten Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4.
I don't know if that would have been great though.
I know.
A fat, overweight Bruce Campbell is Mysterio.
Right?
Like
Edgar.
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
I like how when I said fat, overweight Bruce Campbell, you said Edgar. That's the first thought that came into your head, Josh. I find that a little bit.
Thanks, Josh.
He was. First off, I would have said Alberto.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, okay. I'm Bruce Campbell. That's for sure. All right, go ahead.
He was.
Go ahead, Josh.
Piggybacking me a little bit. What are your thoughts? I know you've thought about this. I know you've heard about this.
No,
what are your thoughts on that?
From my recollection, Josh, is that it all stems from Batman v Superman not doing well. Yes, we were going to get one, and there's no clear why Ben Affleck left, but I think it's one of the reasons why it didn't do well was Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, Batman was always going to have that shadow of the Batman v Superman. Zack Snyder's.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that was never. He had to somehow probably tie it into all that, into that whole mess. And I think that with Matt Reeves, it was an opportunity to start fresh, clean slate, and I think that it's impressive. Even though what we could have gotten would have been great, we still got a pretty solid fucking Batman movie.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not disregarding this movie.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying that. Oh man, this movie was so bad that we should have gotten that. That would have been better. For all we know, Ben Affleck's The Batman would have been dog shit. Right. Yeah. We don't really know until it's executed. Right. But there's just that. There's always that. You hear these rumors, these buildups. They're talking about it. Yeah. Right. And then it just doesn't happen. You're just like, come on, and they give you these little like hints here and there of what the story is going to be, right? And actually, it was actually because of it wasn't because of Batman v Superman. It was actually because of the Justice League, with the fiasco and stuff.
Yeah, it was one of those two. It was one of those two films.
Yeah, because Ben Affleck was like burned out. He wasn't enjoying his time with Josh Whedon. That's why he walked away from directing it, and then eventually just walked away from it, but ultimately, like, it gave, I think the plus side is it gave Matt Reeves creative control to give us this movie, which is great, right? So, but there's just always that what if, man. That what if,
all right.
Regardless, if you don't understand me, that's okay, but it just makes you think, like, what could we have possibly gotten? And to that, what is mid to me is love or hate that Batman, we could have gotten a Batman that could have been pulled from the comics, that could have been pulled for like Arkham Origins, that type of style of movie, where in my opinion, we kind of got something that was grounded, realistic, and that unfortunately has been done before.
Okay. Eric, do you have any thoughts on that?
I guess that's Josh's mid. Is it maybe it's not comic book material? Am I getting that right?
That's part of it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I not getting a sequel for Ben Affleck is redundant.
That was redundant.
For the Batman 2022 is what I'm saying. I get where you're coming from a fan perspective. Like I totally understand that. And you're right. Like the Batsuit from Ben Affleck's Batsuit was exactly like it was in the Dark Knight Returns comic book, and it was phenomenal. You're right about that. But sticking to this movie, right? The mid is maybe the comic book element doesn't. It feels like you said the grounded sort of like Christopher Nolan's, but I just think it's a lot better. I still think that there are still many comic book elements, and Alberto said it right in the beginning. Like you really felt Gotham City. Like you never felt that in. I don't even think I felt it really in Justice League or Batman versus Superman.
No,
either.
Absolutely not.
I think this one captures that. So it captures the environment that you're expecting to see from a Batman.
Let me ask you guys this.
I felt it.
This movie, this Batman. Do you think he can live in the same world of James Gunn's Superman?
I haven't seen James Gunn's Superman, but based on what I've seen through the marketing, probably not. But I don't want to say no, but I'm going to err on the side of no.
So, I can go either way, honestly. I feel like maybe. I don't know.
You can say something.
It's either yes or no.
I'll say no, but in my head I'm like, I'll say no. Better you?
No.
What prompted this question, Josh? What's...
Well, I think in a lot of these Batman movies is what they fail to do. From Tim Burton's Batman, The Dark Knight. The Batman is, and as a comic book fan, right? I feel like I'm forced to compare this to comic books, right? And don't get me wrong, this has comic book elements in it, but the DC comics, they're gods. They're depicted as gods, right? That's the difference between Marvel and DC. Marvel is much more relatable. They're human beings that get abilities, right? Whereas DC characters are gods, right? You can be confident with the Batman from the comics that he will fight someone like Darkseid, right? Have we read Apocalypse? Superman Apocalypse?
I don't think
no.
with
Supergirl. It's such a great read, and there's a scene where in the comic where they have to go to Apocalypse. They have to confront Darkseid because he's kidnapped Supergirl.
Yeah,
and who goes? It's not Superman that goes face to face with Darkseid. It's actually Batman that confronts him.
Okay, yeah.
And they go toe to toe, and he outwits Darkseid. And I don't want to spoil it for you. Actually, such a fucking great scene.
Yeah.
And even like Darkseid is like, I've been outwitted by a man, right? But he's not just a man, right? He's a man that can technically he can go toe to toe with Superman.
Yeah.
He can go toe to toe with Darkseid. He may end up being killed, but we're confident that I don't think this Batman can do that. I don't think the Dark Knight's Batman can do that.
Is that another mid of yours?
It's another mid of mine. Absolutely.
I don't know, man. I feel like you're trying to expand further out. Like, what if we pull this character into this situation, and it's like, I fail to see the relevance of this midpoint in terms of the movie.
That's fine.
I think we should stick.
It's just it's so grounded is what I'm getting at and they want to make it as realistic that it takes the comic book fan out of me out of this movie, if that makes sense.
It's unfortunate that you say that, because I am on the opposite side of that spectrum, where I feel like this movie, look, we're going to continue to talk about how this movie is not original, or it doesn't pull from the comic book pages, and like, oh, it feels like The Dark Knight and blah, blah, blah. And I was telling Edgar this, like, yes, it lifts from a lot of movies. This feels like Seven. This feels like Zodiac. This feels like The Dark Knight. Fuck, you can even say it feels a bit like The Crow. All wrapped in one. But the thing that makes this movie good, and I guess I'm going back to good, not mid, but just for a second here, is that it manages to make it so refreshing. It's such a refreshing take. And that's what I really enjoyed about this movie, right? But
I disagree. I don't think it was refreshing.
I think it was. I think it really was refreshing. I mean, like, going to Eric's point, he appreciated how this was a new take on the Riddler, which is refreshing, obviously. And even though he feels like a carbon copy of like Zodiac, or a carbon copy of someone like fucking what's his name from Seven? I forget the actor's name. It still feels like, yeah, this is the Riddler. This is who he is. This feels still kind of like a part of that comic book universe in a way. It's grounded, but it doesn't like completely lose itself to becoming like realistic, is what I'm saying. You know? So that's just my opinion. If I were to say mid, I think we can all agree it's a little bit long. Like, they could have.
I agree with that.
It is
an extremely long movie,
and it feels at times like a movie that, for lack of a better word, like is like loves the smell of its own farts. Sometimes it kind of lingers a little much on certain like images, or maybe it just tries to, I don't know, like it tries to say so much in a 3-hour span, and it just, like, if they could just cut off a little bit.
It's funny that you say that, because I feel like it has some of the, I don't want to compare it to Zack Snyder's movies, but Zack Snyder gives you those excessive slow-mo scenes. In a way, this movie kind of does that as well, without slowing it down. They just drag the scenes out a little bit.
Yeah, it feels deliberate, but at the same time, you kind of feel like, all right, I get the point. Let's keep it going. You know, did you feel it like that at all, Eric? Like, did you feel the time? Did you feel like it was dragging, I guess?
I am going to save that.
Okay, all right. That's fair.
Yeah, I would say if I'm going to go to mid, is that okay if I?
Yeah, let's get into it.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, I think where I'm at with mid is probably Alfred.
Alfred, okay, interesting.
And it's not. I don't necessarily think it's about the actor. This might be a symptom of Michael Caine in his Alfred role. I just, you almost feel like you could take Michael Caine's Alfred and still plug it into this one, and it would have just been
the same.
Still very like high level.
Okay.
And I think that's really what the symptom is. It's not nothing personal with. I just looked at his name, but nothing personal with the Alfred played by Andy Serkis.
Yeah, Andy Serkis. Yeah.
Nothing personal with him. I just didn't feel connected to him like I did. Mm-hmm. Even Jeremy Irons was a pretty good Alfred in Batman vs Superman. I thought he could have been great. So my mid is Alfred's character, because he's played a very strong role with Bruce Wayne in the Batman, because he knows that he's both. Yeah. And he mentors him. He's like a father figure, and this guy just didn't feel like a father figure to me. He just kind of felt like a.
Okay.
They're trying to
pull. He felt like his almost like his secretary kind of. I don't know, like just.
They kind of pulled elements. So like to Alberto's point of like the refreshing side of things. So this Alfred is actually pulled from Batman Earth 2. Have you guys ever read that series?
No.
So it actually is a very grounded take of the Batman, but Alfred is this he's not a butler.
Yeah.
He's like more of his like teacher trainer and things. He's like this hard ass guy. And I know this was actually trying to pull elements from that. It's actually a really good read. I recommend it. And he pretends to be his butler down the road.
Okay.
But I agree with Eric on that. I think I do agree. I did feel that he was kind of
wasted.
I didn't have buy-in, not just wasted, but I don't feel like they also had the same chemistry as some of the other Alfreds in the previous Batman movies. Like Michael Caine is the definitive Alfred.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, even like
Absolutely.
the Tim Burton's and the Joe Schumacher's Alfred, I felt like had more chemistry with Bruce Wayne than this Alfred, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, this one just didn't stick with me that way. It wasn't terrible. It just didn't. It was just in the middle.
Okay.
It just didn't stick.
Edgar, what was mid for you for this movie?
Ben Affleck. No, just kidding. It's too fucking long, dude. 3 hours.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Now that Eric brought up like Alfred, now that I think about it, it's like Selena Kyle was another one that I felt like
you didn't connect with.
Yeah, it's not because she didn't do bad or anything. I just didn't feel like her story was necessary to put in just to connect her with Falcone.
Yeah,
Now that I think about it, and just jumping off of Eric, well, I feel like this Alfred feels like yes, he's not his butler or anything, right? Mm-hmm. Like I said, it even the relationship between Bruce and Alfred is established within the 30 minutes too.
Yeah,
you can tell Alfred's like, you haven't done, like, we basically haven't been Bruce.
Yeah, made appearances.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he doesn't want to step in his shoes. Basically, he still he can see that he's still grieving his parents. So I think he's giving him his space, but at the same time, he's telling him, like, grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Time to be, Bruce and take over your family's legacy.
Yeah.
But he did help him in certain ways, right? He was helping him with the code, the ciphering and all that. And you were saying that he might have trained him too. So like, but even didn't he Bruce like mentioned him as a father figure when he was in the hospital, like, or no? Like,
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think he did.
No,
I don't know. Maybe I was wrong, but I have to agree with Josh and Eric in terms of, I think Michael Caine was just a much better Alfred. I think he did more, even though he wasn't really in a more of an action role, I guess. I don't know, but this one did feel sort of like to Eric's point. I feel like you could have just put Michael Caine in here, and they could have been fine. If anything, could have probably been better. I don't know, but we still have other. We have a sequel. Maybe they will expand on Alfred, but for this movie, I do have to agree that is sort of a mid element. Is Alfred's,
like, he was sidelined.
Potential was wasted. Yeah, I agree.
Going back to the grounded side of things, what if they took Clayface? Let's say he was. I know he's not going to be the villain in the next one, but let's say he's just some guy, and he just wears a mask. And he changes his mask, because that was Clayface actually in the 60s comics. Would you guys be okay with that? Being a grounded movie, and they want to make it realistic.
If it's executed well, I think so. There's no, just because it's not, I don't know. Like, I want to say, I don't think the word's cartoonish, but I feel like you can definitely. Because they did it with Bane, right? Like Christopher Nolan, like, his Bane was not like a super buff. Like, he didn't use Venom, or like, you didn't see that fucking roided out like Batman or Bane or whatever. It was more grounded, and I think they executed that well for that universe. I think for this, if they did that kind of Clayface, they could have. I think
Well put. I agree.
Yeah. Any more elements of mid that stand out to you guys in this movie, or should we just move on to the basement?
I think we can move on to the basement.
Yeah. Edgar?
Yeah.
Any more mids? We're good.
No.
Josh, any more mids before we move on? Should we start getting into the nitty gritty?
That what if, man. That Ben Affleck, that what if, and what could have been.
All right. Well,
Let's go to the basement.
Let's jump into the basement. What is basement? Let's get into Eric. I want to hear what your basement is. I know I brought up.
Well,
the length,
it's actually my basement isn't something we've already talked about. I think it's the length of the movie, and
really okay.
I think it's too long. Now, do I think it ruined the movie? Absolutely not. But where I'm going with the length is, we're living in an age where this is a film, a major motion picture, and we're kind of living in the world of things are just instant. And I think if you're going to try to sustain success, you got to find a way to make it a little bit more digestible for people. I liked the story, but you have to be, you cannot be on autopilot and watch this movie. So you got 3 hours of, you got to be very dialed in to know what's going on, to catch things. Like, people that, when you watch the Avengers, you can kind of go on autopilot a little bit and just enjoy whatever it's showing. You can't do that with this. So you have to be following the story very closely. And I do think that if you want to sustain success, right, with growing this universe, I do think you need to make it maybe a little more digestible. And I'm not saying make this 2 hours long. That might be too short, but if you're in like that 2 hour and 20 minute to 2.5 hours, I think you're going to be right in the sweet spot for this kind of movie. 3 hours is a long movie, and I've got a feeling that the follow up is probably going to be close to that too. So that has some potential to. Is it going to derail the popularity? I don't know. Like I said, we're living in the era of like 15 seconds and we're on to the next thing. And that's not realistic for movies, obviously, but I do think 3 hours is really pushing it. So I think that's more of a basement thing when you look at today's like landscape and the culture and how our attention spans. And let's make it a little more digestible. Don't dilute your story, because there was a lot of like, it was very well written, but very sophisticated too, right? Yeah. So Batman is also a character that is appealing to very, very young audiences, not just, people that are a little older, like in our age range. I think you also have to find a way to reach people that are in the younger bracket. I mean, you don't have to, but I think it's important because that's kind of what the Avengers did. They kept it kind of simple, digestible. It's extreme. Like, the popularity it's so much that they're just scraping at the bottom of the candy bag now, just trying to pull out whatever they can to make a movie and keep people engaged. So I think the length and making the story digestible too, while not diluting it too much, I think that is basement potential. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Okay. Josh, what do you think? Do you agree? Is that a? I think you said it was a movie, so, but like, what do you think?
No, I agree with Eric. I think there are a lot of scenes, and you said it earlier too, in the mid, and I would say that it's basement as well. There's a lot of scenes that dragged. The car scene, the car chase scene, dragged out longer than it should have. I felt like I was watching a Michael Bay film.
Really? I thought that was
typically
great.
Wow.
They're just too long. Don't get me wrong. There were elements of it that were good, that kind of overshadows it.
The penguin who's like, I got you, and then he just comes flying out of the flames. I thought that was amazing. But
it's just too long and too excessive. The slow pacing as well. But it's tough too, because that's the whole point of this movie, right? It's supposed to be a bleak movie. It's supposed to be dark and brooding to the point where maybe you can't. It's hard to not watch a movie that isn't feel good, and this is not a feel good movie. Is it fair for me to say that?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Like you're not gonna, like, when you watch this movie, you don't feel good. You don't feel justified in any way. So leaving depressed isn't going to help the movie in some way, and for most people as well. And just the dark, the dragging of the scenes, I would say, on top of that, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree.
What for you was basement? Is there anything in this movie that for you is basement, or are you? There's nothing basement. Is it more just like stays mid? Like, where are you?
Yeah, you're right. It just stays mid. It's just too long.
There's not a basement.
It doesn't kill it for me, but yeah, it's too damn long.
Yeah.
So you took that from mid to basement, Edgar?
No. I just said I'm sticking to the. I would say, are you sticking to the mid? I say yeah.
Yeah, like that's as
where
low as it gets.
Yeah, that's the lowest it gets for me. Yeah.
Basement. I don't know if I count this as basement, but I guess I'll say it is that. Honestly, I think, and it goes back to length, to be honest with you, but they could have cut out the Riddler storyline. As much as I think he was executed well, I do think he was a good villain for this movie. You didn't really need him, I don't think. I think you could have worked around it.
Explain.
I think I don't know how you could have worked around it, but it seemed like this movie was really focused on the crime syndicate, the crime on underworld more than it was the Riddler. And the perfect example of this is you don't really see the Riddler. You hear him a lot, but you don't see him until the very end. And unfortunately, it does kind of devolve into a typical, it felt like everything was resolved with Falcone, right? Everyone got their truth. It was an ugly truth. Bruce's father was not perfect and all this crap and shit like that. He'd learned what he needed to learn. And then it felt like the movie was like, oh shit, we still got the Riddler. Fuck. He blows up the dam and the water, everything. That's all right. There you go. It felt like really?
So just like any other Batman movie, they sidelined the Joker. They put him in the background, is what you're saying.
Did they sideline the Joker?
Or I mean the Riddler.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think so.
So it is comic book accurate. Just kidding.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe you're
going back to your comment earlier.
Yeah,
right?
No, you got me there. But I think. Go ahead,
Alberto. I actually think it's a creative take, but I think it goes back to compare it to Loki.
Yeah,
you have to have some kind of soft entrance to a villain that people recognize.
Yeah,
and I kind of see your point. It's like they really did focus on the crime syndicate, but that's also you could say that's kind of the C-list villains too. They're kind of always in the background.
Yeah,
so they're trying to pull from a different, bag when it comes to showcasing villains.
Right.
When it comes to a Batman film, because that's Batman. I think has the best villains. Right? I think they have the best villains. I think his universe has got the best cast of villains.
But they're all C-listers,
They're not gods. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. So we're not fucking jizzing over here because they're not gods and shit like that.
Greatest villains, but they're all C-listers.
Oh, I think that they're better than a lot. I mean, the Avengers. I can't even think of one except Thanos. Dude. So. Even the C-list villains to me are A compared to the Avengers.
Damn. No, you're not wrong. Josh, I introduced you to that, okay? So you can go ahead and put that down.
I'm so glad that you did. I'm just
Did you read it? By the way, just as an aside. Okay, good.
You read what?
One Bad Day with the Riddler.
Because remember, Alberto, what the Riddler did also pivoted to a show about the Penguin. And the kind of what was going on afterwards, and focusing on that side with the crime syndicate, they decided to take it with a series instead of. They're probably not going to expand on it as much in a movie going forward. My guess is this follow-up will probably focus more on the next villain, whatever the villain may be.
Yeah.
But look, I'm telling you, it's like you said with Loki, a terrible villain. This is like a lower level villain that they made. Yeah. That they made more out of than you probably would have expected, and now we're setting up for hopefully something that's greater, like a greater climax of a villain.
I guess where I'm coming from, and I don't know if maybe this is me saying it's mid, not necessarily basement. Is I just don't. I think it really ended after Falcone, and I think that they just forgot about the Riddler, and they had to wrap that up too. And I think that
but the Riddler's the guy who's the one who exposed him. This is what I meant by Robin Hood.
Yeah. Well, there you go. See, you're not wrong. Not wrong.
That's what I was trying to say earlier. Is they did an interesting take. It was like he's a villain, but the people that are poor and suffering are like,
Yeah.
this is the guy that knows. Like, we have to support this, you know. So it was kind of like vigilante versus vigilante, kind of.
The way I was looking at it too is that the Riddler was always there throughout the movie. There were just like little elements of him here and there, just pulling the strings,
Yeah.
right? And then they give you the climax, right? I think, unfortunately, where the movie struggles at, and maybe this is Basement as well, is that they just failed to kind of execute that, right?
Right.
You know, because I kind of think that maybe they because throughout the movie he's there, right? He's doing these things. He's for the murderers and the clues that he's leaving for the Batman and things like that. Um, you know, and then it leads up to this big climax. Unfortunately, I just don't think it was executed well enough to where he's forgotten, right?
Yeah.
You know, with the other gangsters and the things that are happening in the background. Does that make sense? Is that fair to say?
That makes sense. I agree.
I don't know. I mean, this is a character that built a following through basically social media followers, is what you see now in today's world. And so they
go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I thought that you wouldn't like the. I'm glad that you do like the Riddler. I thought you weren't going to like the Riddler because there's that scene where they discover the live stream that he's doing, and then he's like, "Well, what's up, guys? Thank you for all the follows. Thanks for all the likes." I thought that would have like pulled you out of it.
It kind of like that made more sense to me.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That part. I know what you're saying. Like that could have been one to pick, but like that's. It's what is going on in the world today. I mean, they're doing this on an extreme level in this movie, but that's kind of what it is. He's just a nerd behind a camera that's causing a lot of chaos, and he's building a following, and he's getting people that are desperate and tired of whatever's going on with the government and the corruption. And he's like, we need to end this and expose them. And these are the rats, and this is what they're doing with the money and with the renewal fund. And this is everything that's going on. And you're on the streets suffering.
Right.
So, yeah, in the end, he was just a geek. That's what he is.
Yeah.
You know, like the Riddler's kind of a geek, and they did a good job at portraying that he was still just kind of a nerd behind the scenes, although he was incredibly intelligent and he knew how to build a following, and he exposed corruption.
I appreciate that. Thank you for telling me. You perfectly described me. Can we talk about one element that we didn't talk about? Fucking James Gordon. We forgot about James Gordon in this movie. Was he forgettable too? Would you put him in the basement?
Yeah, he was in the basement.
Did you not like his portrayal of?
He was great. Unfortunately, we already skipped. We already passed the greatness, so we can't talk about it. But he was great.
It was good. It was good. I don't
completely forgot.
I think he played the role well, and it was, he was just fine. He was fine.
One of the best chemistries. I talked about it earlier. In greatness is he's one of the best characters in the film that stands out. The relationship between Jim Gordon and Batman is amazing.
They did that well.
When he clears a room just for him, right? To when he tells him to punch him in the face so that he can escape the police department, right?
That was great. I like that.
Such a great dynamic. I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room. Going back to Basement, as much as I would love to talk about greatness and Jim Gordon, I want to talk about this movie being done before.
Oh man.
And how potentially not fresh it is, Alberto. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm alluding to, unfortunately, right? So yes, it pulls elements from Zodiac, right? Yes, it does pull elements from Seven, but especially pulls elements from The Dark Knight.
Right.
And you asked a great question earlier: does this surpass the Dark Knight? I would say that without The Dark Knight, there would be no Matt Reeves the Batman.
It always goes back to that, doesn't it? Like I think we
it does, about and you can say that for a lot of movies, and you can roll your eyes at me, and you can hate it, unfortunately. But if this movie came out first, it'd be a different story, right?
Yeah.
When we look at The Dark Knight, it pulls comic book elements from what? The Killing Joke, and The Long Halloween.
Right.
Right? And Batman Year One. This movie pulls out 2 of the 3. Batman Year One,
Right.
even though it's Year 2, I get it. And The Long Halloween.
Is that what makes it basement for you?
You know, stop giving me something so grounded.
Yeah.
And give me something.
But wait, hold on,
like
Josh.
Feed my need, comic book wise.
Wait a minute,
right?
hold on. I
got
hear
more,
what.
go ahead.
I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, and you're probably not wrong. I think this is happening because the Zack Snyder era failed, and so where do you go?
I'm not.
You have to go back to
like
what
it's not
actually
like
drew people in.
But that's the easy way out potentially as well.
I don't
right?
think it's the
And
easy way out. I
saying,
think it's they're
I'm
giving
not
the people
saying
what they
that
kind of
Matt
want to
Reeves
see.
should have continued Zack Snyder, right?
Right.
But this whole realistic take on this character, you can say this has been done since Tim Burton's Batman, right? I asked a simple question earlier: can this Batman go up against Darkseid? Can it go up against Superman?
I'm gonna have to
right?
call you out, Josh. I feel like you're just saying the thing without saying it, which is I just wish Zack Snyder could fucking come back and do all these movies. It
That's
really
not what I'm
feels
saying.
like
that is not.
I thought the Zack
that is
Snyder was
such.
fun. The Zack Snyder movies were.
Yeah,
I
I think
enjoyed them,
they were
but I
fun.
think they were not well received, which is why it fell apart.
No,
I think this is why you go back to the roots of what drew people in.
Okay, this is a good jump in for me. Josh was talking about the Ben Affleck and all that. It's because of Batman v Superman didn't do well, the reception.
Right. Or Justice League, whatever. Yeah.
I just looked it up.
Edgar,
so it's.
Oh yeah, you said that, and I get that. But go ahead, I'll let you finish.
It's. I agree with Eric is saying. It's just it failed to establish a universe. It tried to do a lot, and that especially that film with Batman v Superman. Sorry.
So I'm not talking about what could have been the Ben Affleck Batman, right? I'm over that. I'm not here to talk about that.
But
what I'm talking about is the grounded take of a Batman has been done so many times, right? Right. I asked a simple question earlier, right? Can this Batman live up to, can it live in the same universe as Superman? Right? We all said no. Right?
Does it need to?
It doesn't.
I think that's why they're making another Batman.
I would like to see that, but I don't know if it
absolutely,
needs to.
right? I don't think James Gunn is going to pull this Batman into his universe because, obviously Matt Reeves wants to do his own thing. It's fair to say that as well. But I think to a degree, as a comic book fan, James Gunn understands that this Batman cannot be in that same universe as well.
And that's okay.
Right? And what I'm getting at, there's more to it as well, is you asked a question, is the Dark Knight, does this surpass the Dark Knight? Right? Edgar, I appreciate you saying you can't answer that question, right? Because it's hard, right? In a lot of ways, has the Dark Knight not aged well? I can say probably in some ways. The fight choreography, you and Alberto have, Eric, we've talked about this.
Yeah, we
right?
have.
Both of us have talked about that.
I agree.
Absolutely. But it gives you one of the best opening scenes to a Batman movie, right?
Yeah.
Introducing the villain. Also, we already got a Batman movie in that trilogy. It was called Batman Begins. This is not a Batman movie. Dark Knight is not a Batman movie. It legitimately is a Joker movie. That's what they were trying to give us.
Yeah.
And they executed that well, right? So you have to understand that to know how great the Dark Knight is. As unfortunately, Batman was sidelined, and it is in the perspective of the Joker.
Yeah.
Okay. But the thing is Christopher Nolan realized that, hey, this is grounded, this is realistic. Matt Reeves is doing the same thing as well, to the point where he also pulls a lot of elements from The Dark Knight. That interrogation scene when they're in the glass room is literally pulled from The Dark Knight. I know we hate comparing the movies and things like that, but the grounded elements, that one-on-one confrontation with the Riddler, it has been done before, unfortunately.
that one didn't stick like it did with the Joker. I'll agree with you there.
Look, I want to put something out here, Josh. You said that this movie, for what you're, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, are saying that this movie is too grounded. It's not comic book accurate, right?
It's not fair to say it's not comic book accurate, because it does pull elements from the comic book, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Can you compare this to Scott Snyder's Batman?
No.
Kind of.
You can. The detective elements, sure.
And that's
the grounded elements,
and that's what I'm
sure.
trying to say. At is that this is the first Batman movie that gave us a detective,
which
Batman
I appreciated.
Film.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that
if we
for
go
sure,
back to greatness, we
sure
failed
is,
to talk about that.
Yeah, I think that for sure is an original.
It gave us,
yeah.
When it came to giving us more of Gotham, the detective side of Batman, the brooding Bruce Wayne, the new takes of these things, yeah, you can appreciate that stuff.
Right.
But what is the ultimate? If you peel off the layers, what is this movie? It's the Dark Knight trilogy. It's Tim Burton's universe, right?
Right.
In a lot of ways,
But the question, I think, becomes: was it executed well? And I think for the most part, it was. And I think that's what really matters.
So you and I have talked about this, Alberto.
Right.
What have I said about the Batman? Because this is where a lot of people misinterpret me. What have I said about the Batman?
It's good, but it's done before.
Right?
Go ahead, please. Refresh my memory, Josh.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The
Right.
story is
Near,
right?
You said it's near perfect, but you said it doesn't resonate.
It's near
with you.
perfect.
Yeah.
It just doesn't resonate with me in that way, just because it's like, yeah, got the same thing.
I think for me,
right?
it's weirdly enough, it feels like I'm the opposite, where it's like it's not near perfect, but it does still resonate with me regardless. I feel like there is definitely, and I've spoke to it. There's definitely elements of this movie that doesn't hit greatness necessarily, or it doesn't make it amount to greatness, I guess you could say. But it still resonates with me with its story, with its theme about healing. You talked about how this movie feels too, like it's not a good feel movie. I actually disagree, because I think there's a very positive message here in the end that turns things around and makes you feel hopeful for what
it's
could
a small
come,
percentage. It's a small
percentage, but it's powerful though. It's still very powerful with its messaging though.
Don't forget Gotham was flooded, and people died.
But it's the fact that now Batman is able to, because in the beginning of the movie, what is he saying? He says that I am the shadows. And what does he do at the end of the movie? He becomes a guiding light instead for those people that are in the flood, and he pulls them out and he helps them. Yeah, it's a small percentage, Josh, but it's like it's very poignant though. It's very like impactful, I think. It stuck the landing in the end there. Regardless of how messy it was, I think it still landed. They still stuck the landing.
Yeah, we're talking about, like, it is a good movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just talking about how it doesn't resonate for me,
And I'm just saying it does resonate with me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I think, to kind of get back on track.
Yeah, we might have been.
I think before we can start talking about the Dark Knight and Batman 2022, we got to see the second movie.
Thank you.
It could be, it's going to make or break on how it's going to look going forward. So I do think that when you look at Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, I think he really did well with the villains and all of them. Even though like Bane was a little bit different than the actual Bane, I still think, like, I don't know if you can replicate that because of how impactful the scene of him breaking Batman. I don't know if you could do that again. That'd be very hard to do. It's kind of a very unique thing that only happened one time in the comic book lore, where you were like, whoa, did he just get his ass beat by this guy? So I think how they are going to create the next villain, because I always go to the villain. is going to really determine on how this is going to look as a trilogy. Because if we get some stinker in the second one, a long 3-hour stinker, this conversation's going to change, and we're going to be like, well, Christopher Nolan wins.
All right, I agree.
Unfortunately, Matt Reeves helming this movie, the odds of it being a terrible sequel is very low. Let's just be honest.
I'm not suggesting that we should be like on fraud alert here. I'm just saying it could happen.
No, absolutely. There's always the possibility, right? The what ifs. Edgar, you said thank you. What did you mean by that?
No, because
I think he was talking about Eric. Right?
No, yeah, I agree. Because this is just the first installment of a trilogy.
Right.
Who knows? This next one, it can be the next Dark Knight, or the third film, or the whole entire trilogy. You know, it's too early to know.
So are you guys saying that if the second one is shitty, it's gonna make the first one shitty?
No, but I think it dilutes the potential of it being a great trilogy.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're here to talk about the Batman.
Well, what you're talking about, Zack Snyder or Scott Snyder?
Yeah, you're talking about the Ben Affleck.
Is that who you're?
I think what Eric is trying to say is there's not a relevant conversation to be had between the Dark Knight versus the Batman when we haven't seen what comes after the Batman.
I'm talking about one movie and one movie, right? One movie compared to another movie. I'm not talking about like the trilogy versus one movie.
Right. But what we have,
Yeah,
right. I get it. I'm just highlighting.
That's just what I'm saying, right?
We've mentioned a lot about Christopher Nolan movies, and he made 3, and he was very successful. And by the way, I don't want those movies to go away. They were phenomenal, but there's potential here to be better, even though it's similar. I know you're saying it has. I'm not going to argue that it hasn't been done, because you're right, it has. But can we do it better? I think that's where I'm at with it, because they made it pretty clear. I don't know if we're going to see Superman.
Yeah, and that's valid, right? Because we're always going to compare things. It's in our human nature, right?
Right, of course.
Hate it as much as you want, as much as I say it, right? Is unfortunately every movie is compared, right?
Yeah.
And it's harder to, we're in the position, whether you like it or not, the 4 of us, we're here to critique movies.
Right.
We're not here to love everything, We are, to a degree, haters by definition. That's the definition of critiquing.
Damn.
Okay. And unfortunately, like what we can be, it's a part of it.
Yeah,
right. But the thing is, Alberto, you and I talked about this.
Yeah.
And I think you have a different take of this, is that when you see the same thing over and over and it's been done before,
right.
Like it gets old, right? And it gets harder to critique it, not just because you're burnt out of it. You just want something new and refreshing. And unfortunately, this movie is at fault, right? Of pulling elements from this worked, so I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel, and it is scary,
right,
to make an actual comic book movie, right? There is the fear that if they give us a Riddler in a top hat and a green suit, the potential of him being campy is there. He's lame, but guess what? Joker wears a suit.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't wear a top hat, but he still looked good, and he pulled it off really well. Not just in the Dark Knight, but in the Batman as well. So it can be done.
Right, but I don't know if I agree. I think the Joker has always been received very well with the way he looked in any adaptation.
Yeah,
I can't think of people that thought he looked bad ever. Going back,
but I think there is that fear, right?
Right, there is. Oh, well, look, I'm going forward with this. Look what happened to the movie Joker and its follow-up. I don't want to see that happen to this movie. So
I hope not.
I hope not either. Because that ruined it. That ended, like, that put that shit 6 feet underground, and I don't think we're ever going to see it again. Am I wrong? Right? Wrong? There's no
Nah,
way
you're
they're
wrong.
coming back from that.
No.
So
The original Joker is still a great movie.
right, but I mean, it could have been a great lead up. I don't. That could that Joker have existed in this Batman?
Oh, good question.
No one heard you say that.
Oh, good question.
Did you not hear me?
No,
Josh?
he heard you. No,
No, I'm just. Oh. I was just kind of asking everyone, but
That's a good question. I don't think so. He's
I mean, probably closer than Superman.
Yeah.
But okay,
Not saying he could have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, man, yeah, it has been done before for sure, but I think the thing that Josh is forgetting is, again, The Dark Knight came out in 2008. It was a movie. It was the fuck am I? What's the word I'm looking for? A product of its time, right? It came out in 2008, and it was made for the audiences it was made for. This movie is going to always, every Batman movie is always going to introduce new fans to it. And I think, like how Eric was saying, you have to have something that's gonna be for a wider audience. And I think this movie, even though it does copy from elements of The Dark Knight, it's still gonna be like, hey man, this is gonna be that one kid's, not one kid's, probably not a kid, but this one person's introduction to the Batman. This is gonna be their Dark Knight, and that's
Alberto,
okay.
I feel like you stole that line from me. Actually, didn't
Which
we talk
line?
about Force Awakens the other day?
Yeah, no,
and
that's what I'm trying to say. But if I'm
that
trying to turn it around, I think that's
Don't go
know?
with the Force Awakens. I couldn't even. 30 minutes and I was done. So let's not go there.
But like what I'm trying to say is like this is probably someone's Dark Knight. Why discredit how this movie's unfortunately not as great because it replicates the same elements from the Dark Knight. This is still someone's Dark Knight. That's fine. You know.
Unfortunately, it was within how many years of each other?
12
years.
That's what I'm saying. It's like we need to reintroduce it, and that's okay.
Do you guys? I want to ask all of you. Do you feel like Batman has such a presence that we could just have only Batman universe movie and not worry about the rest of it? That's kind of what he feels like. I feel like that's
the fear of it though too.
But maybe it's just not meant to be. I don't know until somebody does it right. I guess it only takes until someone does it right and can commingle all of them. But it feels like at this point he can just carry the load on his own.
Absolutely.
Like, put DC on your back and just carry it.
It's crazy to think that Batman and Robin came out, right, and they're like, oh, we can't do a Batman movie, right? And then what happened after that? It was a banger every movie that came out, and it's just interesting.
I could see a Nightwing being in this.
I don't.
I mean, I'm not saying there will be, but I could.
I don't.
Version of him. Well, I think you're right. I probably won't see it, but I don't know. Just curious. I just wonder. Like, it feels like Batman can kind of carry on without the rest of the Justice League, and we would be okay. It doesn't mean that we couldn't hope.
Well, I think majority of the fans out there will always gravitate to
of course.
that character, right?
Oh man, I feel like we gotten a little too deep into this conversation, and we've said all of our basement, right? Let's get into the ranking for this film. Let's start with Edgar. Where are you ranking this movie at? Where is this for you?
Goodness.
It's Show Us Your Goodness.
Because it's just the first installment. We still have a lot to see and to see where it goes. It's a great start to a trilogy.
It's a good start. You mean?
Yeah.
All right. Just wanted to put that out there. Josh, where are you ranking this one?
Show us your midness.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's okay. It's okay.
That's and Is it because Ben Affleck didn't make his movie, Josh? Is that the reason why? Or?
That is not the reason why.
Well, it seemed to be a huge reason why, but all right. Eric, where are you putting this? Where are you ranking this?
I am on a very high goodness. I'm teetering on getting to the greatness, but I'm not there yet. But I'm on a very high goodness. I think that the Penguin show elevated this even more and has me more excited to see a sequel and to see if they can maybe build more, series, if there's another character, or if we continue to build on the Penguin, whatever you want to do with it. I think the Penguin opened up a new dynamic for the DC universe to have, these kind of parallel shows running with a great hopefully trilogy. So I'm on the cusp of greatness because of it's building something. I can feel it building, but I don't, like I said, if we get a bomb, then, well, it's over. Right.
Wow.
So I'm with Josh. I don't think it will be, but it could,
So if it is a bomb, it ruins this movie.
I think it'll dilute it. Yeah. Kind of a wasted potential is what it kind of comes down to. I mean, the movie itself, yes, as a standalone, if you want to look at it like that, sure. But I think that you can see like there's more building beneath the surface here. And I want to see this develop into something great. And I think that I'm close to that greatness, but I'm not. And I would say because of the Penguin show and just the potential I saw out of that. And so I'm very high on this. And I think after watching it 3 times, I liked it more every time I watched it. And I think, it's because you start to like, sometimes like for me, this is not for everybody. Some people pick up on shit like instantly, like Edgar and Alberto, I feel like, and you, Josh. But for me, I kind of have to like digest things for a while and watch it a couple times because, like I said, you can't watch it on autopilot. You got to really kind of lock into it. So I think for me, watching it the 3rd time, I just really was like, man, they really put a lot of effort into this story. And to build
and you weren't a fan of it to begin with, right?
I think it's because it was so long, and I don't want to say I wasn't a fan. I needed to digest it, and then I watched it again, and then I watched it again, and I'm like, man, here we go. Like, it seemed to age better as I watched it more and realized, like, all right, we're 3 years removed, and I feel like this has gotten better for me, and that's a good sign.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe I need to watch it more.
Maybe. Yeah. Or maybe you're just watching Zack Snyder or Scott Snyder. Something Snyder.
Don't hate on Zack Snyder, man.
I'm not.
You like those Zack Snyder movies.
I did, but I
also like Zack Snyder so much. You like Rebel Moon.
But Josh, I also realized that it fell apart, and that's why we're here again.
Just to clarify, okay, for the Edgars in the room, those movies are not good. I get it. Okay,
I thought they were good. I liked them. I liked Ben Affleck.
They have their faults. Their faults.
I think they needed to have probably. I think what would have helped them would probably have been to try to establish Ben Affleck in a standalone before.
Yeah,
that may have helped.
I
think what could have helped.
Too many hands in the cookie jar.
What could have helped is if it just didn't exist at all. So I think.
Oh my god! I don't know about that.
No, look, I'm thinking about everything I said on tonight's podcast about this movie, and I feel like, oh man, I can't bring myself to say greatness. Fortunately, with the elements that I said about the ending, it being a little too long, I'm mid goodness. I'm mid goodness. I think I'm like right in the middle.
I see
of
what
goodness.
You did there.
Yeah. No, I still think this is a good film. It really is.
Yeah, Josh, for a split second.
Did I get you? Did I have you sweating over? No, this is still good.
To be fair, I thought you and Edgar would actually say this would be greatness.
No, it's not.
So you guys did surprise me to an extent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you surprised me about how much you kept talking about Ben Affleck, but.
I only talked about it for a few minutes.
I counted it, Josh. It was about like 5-6 minutes, which is too long.
It was like 4 minutes.
It went like slow motion, like fucking Zack Snyder's movies.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
I think it's a good movie. The Batman is still good, it does get better with every viewing, and just kind of like capping off of what Eric said. I think this is just, I can't wait to see what comes after, and I really enjoyed what Matt Reeves did here. I appreciated it. Yes, it's a little too long, and there's some elements here and there that could have been you could have trimmed the fat a little bit, but all in all, I still think it was executed well, regardless of whether or not it was original. For me, I think it still holds up, and it's a good movie. So I'm gonna say it's a good.
We'll get that sequel in 2035.
God willing,
Yep.
dude. God willing, we're gonna get it before GTA 6 comes out for sure. Yeah.
Robert Pattinson is 40 years old. So.
Yeah. No, oh my God. Hopefully they get started on that. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one, man. I think we exhausted everything we can say about the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Please let us know what you think about the Batman in the comments down below. I'm really curious to see what people say, because our opinions vary. It's going to be different. Maybe some people think it's complete garbage, and that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to hear what your thoughts are. We really appreciate it. This has been fun. Once again, I'm just going to say from the top, please follow us on our socials. Show Us Your Basement. And we'll go ahead and we'll see you guys in the next one. Eric, you know what you gotta say.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.